Alrighty, looks like we are busy over here. Oh my god, this has been set up since Friday night streams. Let's turn all of this crap off. Holy cow, that was a wild night. That was a wild night. What's going on, everybody? My camera's way too zoomed out. Zoom that in a bit, I think. How we doing, everybody? Who have we got in the chat? Kimmy, how you doing, Kimmy? Good afternoon, good afternoon. Sopper, new shiny Gear 12 Omicron Zeta Terra Malachos is ready for next week. Good stuff. Do my eyes deceive me? I don't know, Bodhi, do they? Do your eyes deceive you? Is my camera not focusing? I think it's having a hard time focusing. How are we all doing? My camera is definitely not quite focusing on my face, is it? Like, hello, camera. Focus, please. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. If you are in the UK, I hope you celebrated Mother's Day, your mother, or people in your family that are mothers that you also like to celebrate it with. I don't know. Don't trust them. Don't trust your eyes. So yeah, the eyes can be fooled. The eyes can be fooled. Good evening, Neat. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, there's been a lot of news. Into the finals for 2-0. Good job, Bodhi. What's going on, Davin? What's going on, Webb? Smeagol? How are we all doing today? Hopefully we are all well. Is it just my eyes are blurry, or is the actual camera not focusing? Like, hello camera, would you like to focus? Focus, focus, focus. I feel like it's out of focus. I'm tired, damn it. It's been a long week, man. It's been a long weekend. For a second you forgot. Well, I started it off with those of you in the UK, right? Camera doesn't seem focused. Yeah, I thought so. What is wrong with my camera? Why is it not focusing? Definitely doesn't seem focused to me. Yo, camera. Get with the program, brother. Who knows? Who knows? I am very tired, Ren. I'm very tired. So, I mean, we had the Friday night stream, right? The Friday night stream we went on until... I got to bed at like 6 in the morning. And then I had to get up and travel back home. I missed my train because I was asleep. I think it did. It's definitely not focused, which is really irritating. And I turned it off and on. I mean, holy shit. Like when I'm out here, that seems focused on me right now, but I never have my camera this zoomed out. It seems too far away. I still can't tell if it's focused or not. There we go. Now I'm in focus. It just needed a bit of a reboot. Now it looks like it's in focus. Good. So, yeah, I was up until 6 a.m. and then I went back home for Mother's Day, which was obviously today, but that was yesterday I went back home. But it was also like the celebration of my grandfather passing away. So there was a party when I arrived in the golf club, because he was a big golfer. And they unveiled his bench at the golf club and all this sort of thing. So when I arrived, my entire family was already dancing, karaokeing, drinking. And then me and all my cousins went out that night. And I was hungover to bum after traveling for 5 hours to get back home. And we went out drinking. And then this morning, we got up at like 8 in the morning. So it's kind of been like a 2-day bender. We took my mum out for a walk and a meal in a pub. And then I traveled home. So I'm tired as fuck. I'm tired as fuck. Well, there we go. No changes to the light fixtures. It's just the camera just deciding not to focus for some reason. The autofocus wasn't kicking in. And it's normally very good, the autofocus on this. Good. Good business. Alright, cool. Let's see if my gents are good to go. Looks like they are. Let's fuck up my camera again temporarily. I love it when it does this. It's just like camera goes into Hippieville. And then we fix it. Job's a good one. Job's a good one.
Some fancy shit.
That's some fancy ass shit. Hey Wolfie, how you doing, buddy?
We're chilling. How about yourself?
Yeah, stuff and things. Mostly. Mostly stuff. Sometimes things. Hey Garth, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, good enough.
Let me fix cameras then, shall I? Oh, you're back to the Bald Club, Garth.
Yep.
Good business. I welcome you as one of us.
Some of us have a choice.
Fuck you. I have a choice. I could just have really bad thinning hair. Alright, that's my choice.
I hear you.
It's not a good choice.
Not a great one, by any means, no.
And that's why I'm as bold and beautiful as I appear to be. Alright, good.
That's why you don't have the light directly above you. Too much shine.
Well, we can't have too much shine, can we? That would just that would ruin the ambiance, as they say. Right. Let's just make sure that we've got Karth nice and embiggened right about now.
Watch me whip.
Watch you, nay.
While I move position in my chair repeatedly over the next hour and a half.
Say again, sorry?
I said you can focus your camera all you want, but I'm gonna move repeatedly in my chair for the next hour and a half.
Yeah, that's true. You do not seem that fussed. Just yeah, I'm just gonna be over here for a little bit, and then occasionally you'll be like all the way on the right.
Out, damn it.
I'm as zoomed out as I can be, good sir.
I want to see
Okay.
Wolfie's nose hairs, so let's get zoomed in
I mean,
further.
we could make that happen. We could make that happen, but I think it'd be inconvenient to people.
I mean, that's a debatable topic.
Yeah. Goddamn. All right.
Some people might be interested.
Well, they might. They might. You never know. They might. Okay, hold up. Let me sort this shit. Scribe needs to get one of those ginger hair tam o' shanters. The what, sorry? And we can have a stupid hat themed tribe talks. I don't even know what a tam o' shanter is.
No idea.
Yeah, that makes three of us.
Only Bodhi is in the know here. Only Bodhi is in the know.
No idea what these on about.
Yeah.
None of that makes sense to me.
It's hot as balls in this room tonight. I'm gonna open the window briefly, and then I guess we can get cracking. There's some news that we can talk about this week.
Yeah, I mean, minor news at best of things. I think it's mostly datacron related. Last I checked.
There was something that was mentioned, right? I don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of unfortunate. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I'm excited about what they announced, but like so much of my brain is like that meets expectations. I'm having a hard time being like actually hyped for it.
So I missed the start of that, but
it's just that like the announcement was good. But it was like I was so anticipating that pretty much being the exact line of thought that like I'm not hyped about it because it's like okay, well, all right, cool.
Well, I guess we'll get into that in a second. I might as well just do the intros, guys. We might as well roll. We're here. We're ready.
Yeah.
We're loud. We're proud. We are
from the waist up.
Yeah. I would definitely only dress from the waist up. Yeah. Because
I mean,
life's too short for pants.
You don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't know. AI is
so
really good these days. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
For all I
Welcome.
know, I'm just a floating head, and yeah.
Yeah,
Could be.
I'm floating head right
Could
now.
be.
I'm just a floating head body, out of body experience right about now. But in this out of
That's how it
body
goes.
experience, we are Tribe Talks. It's a podcast, guys. We sometimes talk about Galaxy of Heroes. I am running low on energy, so I apologize. I've had a long weekend. It's been great, but it's been tiring. But we've got loads of supposed Galaxy of Heroes news to talk about today, which is fucking awesome. If you got any questions, head over to the Discord. There's a Tribe Talks questions section within my Discord there, and you can ask us anything, because I plan on fully ignoring the chat, except for when it conveniences me. Those are the rules. I'm Scribe, and we're joined by our wonderful co-hosts today, Wolfie and Carthrick. As last weekend, we were down a member of the Tribe Talks, so we had our good fellow Tasnix join in, and that was interesting. That was good. So welcome back, guys. How are
Heard
you
it
all
was a
doing
good
today?
one.
Yeah, it was
So?
great. It was good fun. Yeah.
Alive, rocking. You know, can't complain.
I mean, yeah, that's usually a pretty good start. Pretty good start to be alive and well. Yeah. How about yourself, Carl?
I'm doing good. Doing good. I gotta keep it rather tame today because I need to go mow the lawn after this. But
I need to keep it tame today out of liver failure. I just can't. It's just-
listen, if
Too
you're
much.
perpetually
We do go pretty hard
drunk,
on Fridays.
yeah.
you'll be
but-
all right.
But also yesterday.
Oh, also yesterday.
Yeah, well, I was going back, and it was like a celebration of my grandfather who passed away recently. So it was a
okay.
big party. So it was
Right.
like up all night drinking, sleep 6 hours, travel 5 hours, up all night drinking. So I'm tired now. I'm not 21 anymore. I'm very much not 21 anymore.
One might say you're a bit knackered.
Yeah, knackered. Knackered is definitely the term I would use. When my cousins, when I saw them last night after the celebrations were dying out, they were like, "Let's go to town, get drinks." I was like, "I don't want to," and they're like, "Come on, go to town." I was like,
Hear me out on this, and I can't emphasize this enough. No.
That's what was going on in my head, but the words that came out of my mouth sounded a little bit more like, "Okay, let's go to town. Let's do it."
As long as I'm not driving.
No, it definitely wasn't. It was a good night though. It was a good night. So, yeah, lots of fun. Just paying for it now because I'm old and I'm crippled and bald as well. But that's nothing to do with my age.
Yeah, but a lot of those things were prerequisites to this weekend. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, yeah. So we did get some news on Friday, just a smidgen of news, and I don't know where we
Just a
want to
little bit.
begin. Like, where are we feeling?
I don't know.
We've got
Wanna-
focus
let's start with
datacrons.
You want to complain, or I don't know.
let's start with the
I'm just
new
joking.
the new Lord Vader lineup. Let's start with that.
Okay.
Probably
Yeah.
the most interesting thing that they talked about this last week.
I mean, it's
So,
cool. I'll start off with that. I think it's a smart move. People like, even when Lord Vader was first coming out, people were like, wouldn't it be cool if he was with, clones? That would be sick. Dark side clones would be sick with Lord Vader. And then they were like, no, he plays with Maul. And you're like, I said, what now?
They're like, yeah, it totally makes sense. Yep, because
Yeah,
of
be
war
honest.
and things. Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
To be
Thumbs up.
honest,
Good job.
that was a good laugh when it launched, just because like I knew where their heads were at with having Cat and Maul together, even though like Cat definitely does not ever coincide with JMK
Yeah.
existence either. But still, I got where their
Yes,
heads
she
were at.
does. What are you talking about?
What? Commander Tano?
Yeah.
Siege of Mandalore? Where does she interact with JMK on the battlefield?
Doesn't Kenobi give like her the fucking assignment and stuff?
Oh, they meet up for like 2 seconds. and
Okay, so
then
they interact. All right. Well, there you fucking
they,
go.
they,
They're
they go
one
to
step
Taurus
ahead of
first.
Lord Vader and
There's your
Maul.
answer.
Then
That was easy.
All right, if we take the most tangential piece of the puzzle.
hey, these two people were in the same room at one point.
Though, technically speaking, I've always had a problem with that because Commander Tano, at that point, she had already left like the Grand Army of the Republic, so she no longer had a rank, so she was no longer Commander Tano. That's why they promoted Rex to Commander. So
Yeah,
he
it was
in the mission. So technically
yeah.
speaking, Commander Tano was before all of the Siege of Mandalore, before all of this stuff. It was like her before she left the Jedi Order. So
It was more of like a
CG
colloquial
logic. Just go with it.
Yeah, well, it was more like a
Fuck it.
colloquial thing. 'Cause she led the assault on Mandalore, and it was kind of like a honorary position bestowed to her for that battle.
Well, I'm saying
Because
they specifically promoted Rex to commander for that battle.
Yeah,
because she was
he
no
was
longer part of it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
she was
so
no
he
longer
could lead
part.
it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
just because of
So she was just like an advisor.
yeah, but still the commander, just not a commander of the Galactic Republic. She was the commander of.
She was just bossy, really. Is what you're trying to tell me.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, though,
They brought
to
her
be
in.
honest,
They're not going to call her consultant Ahsoka Tano, are they? So
to be honest, though, that was probably one of the best fucking fight scenes.
Oh, it was
like
amazing.
her leaving the ship and going to the battle. That was a pretty epic opening barrage for that story arc. So I was okay with that.
Absolutely. Oh,
But
100%.
anyways, so yeah, we're getting Lord Vader clones. They gave us the first 2 clones. Now
Yeah.
the one Apo makes sense because he's actually at the Jedi Temple. He is the one that confronts Senator Organa in the movie and tells him to leave.
I'll be fully transparent here. I cannot remember a clone called Apo who said anything.
No. He was designated that, like, but they never call him by that name.
All
it's
right,
just
so-
they just. It's like people retroactively coming back and saying the guy in it's like people coming back and saying the white bearded guy in Return of the Jedi is Captain Rex after like 30 years.
They didn't
it's like,
say
well,
that.
not somebody tried.
No, he's not. No, he's not Captain. No, they said that Captain Rex was in the battle, but that old guy that we see, he actually has a name and everything.
Oh
So
yeah,
he has like a whole Wikipedia page and everything. But they just said Captain Rex just retroactively that he was in the battle, but he's not old dude. That old dude's somebody else.
I know. People tried to make that him. That's all I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, that was fucking dumb.
But no, the it's the name that they gave the clone that confronts Bail Organa when they were there. When he shows up at the Jedi Temple, it's him who confronts Organa, tells him to leave, and then the Jedi played by Lucas's son shows up, kills 6 clones, gets gunned down. Bail tries to flee and does. Anyways, so he's interesting. It's the other one that I have I completely blanked on. Yeah, CX2.
That one is so dumb. He's from
I don't know why they. Yeah, Bad Batch season 3.
Bad Batch season 3. Yeah.
He's the shadow. He's the shadow clone.
Yeah, he goes toe to toe with Crosshair.
Okay, yeah.
That people were theorizing it's actually tech, tech that's
there.
been I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong. I love the idea of having CX2 as a character that's playable. It just feels really weird. To have that character be a Lord Vader character,
Yeah, because that's my brain was stretching for because they make a good point in the post of going hey, Vader's fist. We're gonna be this thing with Vader's fist.
Yeah,
which is 501st members, and my brain's going okay, but Apo, heads on. That guy was there at the assault of the Jedi Temple in Operation Nightfall.
Right.
CX2, nowhere close. So it's
no.
All right. So now where are we running to bring in the other 2 Darkside Clone Trooper units? Because if we're gonna go way after the sacking of Coruscant, that does give us a wide berth of the other 2 clones. What they could choose from, because we got a lot of stuff from Clone Wars you could choose. I think a lot of people. Do you think
that they just give us a dark side wrecker, not wrecker, Crosshair?
No, I don't. I don't think it's worth it for them to go down that road right now. I think what they'll do is they'll pick definitely. I think Commander Fox is going to be in there because he's a part of the comic series that Jocasta Nu representation's coming from.
Okay.
And
I'm not familiar with the comic book series at all.
He was actually totally okay to go with Order 66. he's like, "Oh, kill the Jedi." He's like, "You didn't have
He's
to give
like,
me
"Hell
a reason."
yeah.
Like, I didn't.
You don't need to tell me twice.
Don't tell me
Here, twist
twice.
my arm.
I'll do what you want. So I could see him doing it, but I just don't know, because it's like, for me, I'm like, people really want Jesse to show up, and my brain just going like, maybe he definitely dies before they ever get to the siege of the sacking of Coruscant. So
I wonder if
I
they
have
double
no
dip.
idea.
I wonder if they double dip from Bad Batch season 3 and bring us like Commander Wolf, because he was the one who was, I think, like assigned to like search them down and whatnot. He was so he was still around for all that stuff, and been around for a long time as the clone, so potentially over there. I'm not just saying that 'cause,
he survives through and is
right.
in Rebels as well. But I mean, I just don't know. Like they just took such a wide berth of characters. So like, you have a character that was actually at Operation Nightfall with Lord Vader, and then a character that was definitely never knew this Lord Vader, which, I mean, again, has nothing to do with the fact that they didn't break that rule the first time they created the character.
They're consistent at the very least.
Yeah. we're just doing dark side clones. It's like, okay, well, cool.
It would have been nice if there was like they took this opportunity to sort of fix their initial issue, because like we said earlier with Maul, Operation Nightfall, the Siege of Mandalore, all that shit that was orchestrated by Maul to pull Anakin there to kill him, to rid Palpatine of his prize. Like, the two of them working together is like just anti fucking everything that everything like in the lore possible. So yeah, I was hoping they would have taken this time to sort of fix that those issues, but I don't know, maybe there's a comic where CX2 shows up and says, "Hey, I'm working with Vader and I'm part of Vader's fist now." I don't fucking know. They still haven't fixed the problem where Asajj Ventress is somehow alive, even though the book isn't decanonized and she's technically dead. I don't know. They still
it's a minor inconvenience.
Night Sister magic, okay?
They always come back. That's kind of their whole deal.
They don't die on camera, and sometimes even if they do.
Thank you so much, Nooch, for the raid. Appreciate you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Your mod told me to go and watch my beginner's guide. So, betrayal. I'm not sure if I'm the person that's betrayed you by doing an early game guide, or if your mod has betrayed you by watching other people's content. How dare they? I know that I have to punish my mods when they watch other people's content. It's completely unacceptable.
Yeah,
how dare they?
They enjoy that part of the game.
Yeah,
so.
well, I thought they enjoyed being punished. Sorry, I thought that's where you were going. They do.
That's where I was.
They do like
they
that.
Do enjoy. They do like that. So when it comes to the clone kits, though, you think they're going to find a way to help expedite the ultimate charge, because we're losing the mechanics?
My theory. So I was thinking about this on Friday. My theory for this is, so right now Maul takes a bunch of bonus turns. It's like 7 turns in a row with the middle, and then the extra one like back and forth. So I think it works out to like 35% ult charge right there, just from Maul's initial first blast and shit. So what I'm sort of thinking to get the ultimate charge going is they all get some unique debuff. Sort of like ferocity. They have where it's like it's a debuff, but it also helps you. Just give them all a locked unique debuff called Vader's Fist. So they start the battle with a debuff, and then have part of that Vader's Fist. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then have part of that Vader's Fist thing be either at the start of every clone trooper's turn or everyone Lord Vader's turns. Everyone takes 1 damage. So you just like take like a minimal amount of almost nothing, but just enough to start getting that 8% here, 8% there, 8% there, 8% there. And I was thinking about it. So he would get 8% ult meter at the start of each clone's turn. Rey right now gets 6% ult meter at the start of every character's turn. So it's still sort of in line with like going over there. I think it'll be great to like get him an ultimate charge like super duper quickly. It might be too fast at some point, but that's sort of my theory for where they would go with it.
My guess is that you're going to probably see 2 of these clones have GAC armies and 2 of them have TW armies as a way to bolster the team in other game modes.
No TB Omicrons?
Yeah,
Dude,
there has to be TB armies.
There's gotta be a TBO, mate.
They're always doing it these days.
Oh yeah, I guess Hu Yang has one
Also,
too.
also, hold on. No, one GAC, one TW, one TB, one raid.
It's
One conquest.
it's possible, but
Yeah.
They're the raid team.
that's gonna be Tarkin. Tarkin gets the raid on me. That's the
Really?
easy
You think
throw.
Tarkin gets the raid on me?
Oh, they're
That wouldn't be
reworking
too
the character
surprising.
to
Yeah.
lead them. I would be massively surprised if they don't, because there is no other reason to because I just don't see why they would waste the space on it. If they're not going to give Lord Vader a conquest lifter, they're going to do double Ami at minimum, because then otherwise, you get all these new GLs coming out with these double, TW Ami. I mean, what's her nuts has it? Glatt has that double TW Ami on her team, and so it's just like I feel like that's
And
kinda
Ezra
gonna
has
be-
the triple.
well, but Ezra's GAC.
He's a
but
conquest
yeah.
unit, but yeah.
But yeah, clearly Lord Vader's not going to be a conquest unit though, so I feel like they're at least going to put a couple GAC Omicrons on that team to lift him inside of GAC to be better and make his ult pop a little faster. And I feel like I almost want, but at the same time don't. I want like a low key like Gas 501st mechanic where it like puts marked on Vader, and if all allies are dark side clone troopers or whatever they want to make that tag. Just to because I feel like I don't know if they're going to put another tank in the team. Again, part of my brain just tries to wrap around. I doubt they change much, if anything, on Vader's kit besides maybe adding some new tags to the character.
Yeah.
There might be stuff around,
adding,
make it synchronized with Vader's fist, or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
So
I'm sure the clones
he's got callouts for UFUs.
I guarantee the clones will be Empire tag.
Yeah,
but
that's the easiest way.
It's just my brain just starts wrapping like, how do they? They're gonna have to create a sub faction.
Yeah, well, that's where I was gonna go with it. It's like we see it all the time in teams that like would make sense. Like Bad Batch have got Bad Batch tags, but they don't have Clone Trooper tags and stuff like that. They usually try to focus down the synergies a little bit more to make it a little bit more. This is the deliberate synergy we're trying to build. They'll have Empire because we know that Grand Moff Tarkin is going to be the temporary lead for people that don't have Lord Vader, and he's not going to get I doubt he'll get Vader's fist as a tag if that's what they choose to add to these guys. But we're going to find out soon anyway, aren't we? We're going to find out in a week and a bit.
We'll find out. We should
Friday.
Find out next week.
Yeah.
By the end of it, for sure, on the first.
Yeah, the first kit that we see.
Yeah.
Yo, low key, I feel kind of bad for Tarkin. It's like he's getting a rework. He's getting, he's going to be useful, but like just for the raid. And then everybody who already has Lord Vader, which I feel like at least everybody I see always has Lord Vader, is immediately putting all the clones with him. So I guess Tarkin is just gonna be like used as a 3v3 lead, and then for the raid, and
he's a capital ship pilot, and people use the executrix.
That's true.
Occasionally.
God damn.
When they got a counter executor or something.
Yeah.
With that turn meter run. Yeah, it's just one of those things where I get a little perplexed as to where they run with because the Empire faction is so massive. And they've done a decent job carving it up into multiple teams, but it feels like with this, segregation of like Lord Vader is ditching everything. He's ditching Maul, he's ditching Piet, he's ditching Royal Guard. My brain's going like, there's got to be a reason, later wise, developmental wise, why CG is doing this, because we know the Maul Mandos thing has been something they've been trying to make work forever. And they still are missing a piece. You got to find a way to get Django off that team too, at some point. But anyways,
I'm sure we'll get another dark side Mando at some point. It's fine.
Yeah, possibly. But
also, you don't even always need everybody on that team. I mean, to put it on defense, obviously you need a full team, but on offense, you can usually undersize pretty good.
Well, and you can still get away with having the 5th be another Empire unit because of ISC.
Gar ISC is really what you're.
Yeah.
That's most of the damage potential there, isn't it? It's like you just want those attacks out of turn. I
You're just-
love that. Sometimes like if you're worried that you can't use Maul's first special, sometimes it's just like get Maul to take one turn and have Gar and ISC assist 3 times. That's usually enough to take out 1 or 2 characters. It's just that's how much damage output they're kicking out. It's kind of wild. It's a fun team.
It's just one of those things where like you need somebody to get going, and then it goes from there because of Maul's frenzy, and so it's like it doesn't anything crazy, but another one wouldn't be a bad thing. But I just in my head I'm looking at this and going like, Royal Guard got reworked to work specifically under Vader, and now that's pretty much dead. Tarkin was designed to work not necessarily under Vader, but was he's one of the more powerful units.
Do you mean Piet?
Yeah, sorry, Piet.
Yeah.
There are so many admirals that we have.
I mean, they're basically the same person.
The 2. But yeah, so Piet was designed to work in that position, even though we got Piet as part of C. And then we got Thrawn's gonna be out in the cold again because there's really no reason to run Thrawn half the time, and then Maul's off the team, and so it's just like it's all these different pieces that kind of just fall out, where it's like, well, what's the end game design here to make this whole Lord Vader with clones besides being thematically kind of badass? What do we do with the rest of those pieces? Are they looking at building up something else Empire in the future?
Well,
and
maybe.
That might be a thing.
Gives them the option, doesn't it? Gives them the option.
Gives us some time for some Bad Batch season 3 Empire dark side stuff to come through, some Mount Tantus bullshit.
Dude, there is not infinite, but there is so much material they have to work with. I mean, think about Andor season 1. They can start bringing in all the ISB characters and have like a whole freaking ISB faction, and then Krennic can go hang out with them, or like Tarkin could lead that, or do something over there. Like you can do a lot
ISB,
of fun things over there.
Are they going to start bringing in Star Wars Outlaws characters? Yeah. Oh, spoilers!
Oh God.
Oh, no, sorry. ISB. Sorry. Can we, if we're going back to ISB,
but they got a lot of stuff they can do.
Yeah.
Dark Side Bode, like,
okay,
that would be really cool. Yeah, there are a lot of options. I feel like they're doing something. They're doing something in preparation for the Empire faction as where that goes next. I have no idea. Well, because what season 2 of Andor launches this April, right? That's when it starts.
Yeah,
April 22nd.
Not that he's got it marked down on his calendar or anything.
Nah, not at all.
It's launching in arcs, right? Because it's launching in the entire episode arcs in Go. So there's only like 4 or 5 releases over the entirety of the
4
series.
releases, yeah.
And it's still once a week. It's just it's the entire arc as it goes. And so maybe that's something where they're leading into. I just don't know. I feel like there's so much. It's the era after this that I'm actually now more keen on than the Revenge of the Sith era I knew was going to happen. It made absolutely no sense for CG to pass that by with.
I think everybody could see Revenge of the Sith coming. Anybody that saw Revenge of the Sith coming and were like, we're getting Lord Vader Dark Side clones is a fucking liar. Like, there's no way they saw that and were like, yeah, we're getting Dark Side clones for Lord Vader. I knew it.
No, I definitely anticipated. Well, it was Jedi Vanguard, right? That was kind of like the what characters that we were getting into. I was hoping they were going to go more of the direction of let's grab some plug and play stuff and slap them around and have a good time with building up different factions. And now it's like, well, we're gonna basically remake an existing team, finish out the team we told you is coming, and then all of those 3 teams, well, those 2 teams plus the one that just released, those will all be part of the next raid. So enjoy. It's like, well, damn it.
Yeah, no. I think it seemed pretty clear that we weren't going to get just a bunch of Jedi Vanguard because it just doesn't make sense. Because they wouldn't have given that many Vanguard tags in the game, and we already have Jocasta New and a Legendary, so that's 2 out of 5.
Well, I mean, you can call it what it is. It is now Legendary Mace Windu.
Yeah, that's true.
Indeed.
That's true.
Got to get
Legendary
some
Mace
LMW
Windu
up in the chat.
How many people
my
are just
God.
disappointed it's not like light side Dooku or
I mean, but I wouldn't
I
want
mean,
that
we
as a
could still
legendary unit.
Yeah, the legendary wouldn't really feel right for me for a light side Dooku.
no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I would
surprised.
still love the character though. I mean, I'd love to get light side Dooku. I liked
Yeah.
watching the Tale of the Jedi, and watching his story kind of unfold.
Yeah.
That was kind of interesting to see. The entire thing, and with him and his interaction with Mace, it would be kind of cool. But I don't see
Mace,
that.
a fucking political motherfucker over there. It seems.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he was definitely
He's
playing
sitting
the
there
game.
playing. Oh yeah, he's sitting there playing that freaking game. God damn, he's like, I'm climbing the ladder. I'm gonna step all over you, fucker. I blame
Yeah.
Mace. Mace is the one who made
I mean,
freaking
Mace made
Dooku
Dooku,
fall to the
Mace
dark
made-
side.
Mace made
It's
Anakin.
all
Mace
his
made
fault.
all the problems.
Yeah.
Mace was part of the reason,
jokes.
part of the crew of Jedi who got Ahsoka kicked out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I think he was, and he gives like the whole bitch slap response to, excuse me, citizen. So I mean, Mace
Citizen.
is,
Poor
Although that
poor
has
not
given
Commander
rise-
Ahsoka Tano.
that has given rise. I do love calling her Citizen Tano because it does sound pretty badass.
Dude,
I
yeah.
am Citizen
Dude,
Tano.
Citizen Tano. Like, right?
Don't
That
they
sounds
have
pretty
the
fucking
title?
cool. I'm here for it.
Don't they have the title in game, Citizen?
Oh, I'm not sure.
don't
I can't remember.
Think so?
I don't
I'm sure
recall.
they added it at one point, but I'd have to go through and look. But yeah, there's just a lot of interesting things kind of shaking loose on that. The two Jedi Vanguard, you know, it kind of makes sense that the two from the C event, the Stacey Tin and Aegon Kolar, are going to be the two.
Aegon
that they add.
colon. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aging colon. Oh my god.
AG Kolar. Yeah, there you go.
And that's his name from now on.
Yeah.
Well, when you tie that into one of the other announcements that was coming with this, is that we're getting something called, what is it, era battles?
Yeah, the
Yes.
era battles.
So new type of short-term assault battle. They were kind of likening it to. We don't really have much information about it, but you know the second
can
half
make
of this one
assumptions.
is going to be around trying to bring in Sidious. So it's like it's obviously it's the battle squad that Mace takes in to arrest Sidious, isn't it?
I mean,
so yeah,
that makes the most logical sense.
Yeah.
all signs point to this. So
you
if somebody
think-
starts shouting zebra when we can hear hoofbeats, I'll be a little bit irritated.
Well, so in that same vein, though, do you think they use this opportunity to do any touch-ups or reworks in totality on existing Jedi Vanguard characters?
I think there'd be
Big
something
or-
minor at best.
I'm a good.
I would hope they do.
Yeah.
It feels so bad because, like, especially I assume they're all going to be on the same team together. So there's only the fifth. Like, you have the leader. So you have Jocasta, you got Legendary Mace, you got the two new Vanguards, and you got +1. So it feels like a bit of a waste to have the whole Jedi Vanguard faction and name all these Jedi Vanguards, and only one of them ends up on the
They're
team.
gonna have an ideal fifth in mind, and it's going to be someone shit like I'm a Gundai.
Yeah, they
Well,
could potentially just
so-
do a call out, you know?
Yeah.
To be fair, yeah, they could do a call out as a way to deal with the problem. The one that in my head actually fits the best right now is going to be Luminara, sorry, not Ari.
Ooh,
She does
Illuminara.
have-
Omicron.
Her Omicron synergizes quite well with Jocasta. That's all. Is that her Omicron gives the team.
Jocasta. God.
Sorry, I'm reading
Luminaru, Jocasta,
Yeah.
fucking
There is-
Mace
there might-
Windu.
there-
No, that one makes sense.
Windu.
Shit.
I need to see if someone poured whiskey in my coffee because my brain is.
It's like, that's the problem. They didn't.
Yeah.
Ah.
they didn't.
I'm too sober for this
I
shit.
got I have my thinking juice. No, Luminara has her Omicron gives protection recovery, which Jocasta has synergy with, and so that was like where my brain went to immediately when they did announce.
That would be
her
nice.
kit.
Because like Luminara came out, and it's not Luminara came out. Like Luminara has the Omicron, and when Queen Amidala came out, we were like, oh, we can use it. Oh wait, no, never mind.
Yeah, it gets immediately shit
No.
on. The Kelleran also has good synergy with that too because of his mass
I don't see them
assist.
using Kelleran, I'll be honest.
But
Yeah.
but I think it just depends. I mean, Kelleran definitely was designed, of course, to work with Qui-Gon Jinn to stop the Bad Batch counter to that team. But you know, the problem, like we talked about last week with TAS, is that you just have so much power condensing with all these teams that are available.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yes.
if this team benefits from a mass assist, because Kelleran Beck just needs all GR Jedi, which I guarantee you this team will be GR Jedi. That may not be a bad gig to have that as a mass assist and additional sustain, because you heal for all the damage dealt as well. So there's a lot of things that kind of go with that. I don't know. I see a lot of potential plug and play as the fifth, just depending on what crons are supporting the team. But I do kind of hope that we do see a touch up or a rework of, Kit Fistu or maybe Ayla Secura. God forbid Eth Koth.
Yeah. I mean, Kit was he was part of the assault squad, right? That's
why a lot of people think
Palpatine.
Kit Fistu
Yeah.
will get their rework because he's part of the event as well. Kit Fistu's in the C event.
Oh, what, in the C event?
Yeah.
He likes the U pronunciation.
He likes the U. Everyone ending with a U today. It's Hondu. We got.
It's because it's Mace Windu's event.
Jabu
Riat.
Listen.
Jabu
I
Hatu?
have no good response
Jabu
to any of this. I'm just stuck with apparently being phonetically incorrect today.
Yeah, that's fine. We are phonetically challenged. It's okay. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. It is gonna be interesting. Especially with the announcement stating that the raid is going to be the Order 66 raid, it makes sense. We kind of inferred it before. It's like, why would they give us this many Jedi Vanguard? It's probably because they want to give us 2 teams that we can run in the raid using Jedi Vanguard as a faction tag. We don't know if this is a 3-man raid or a 5-man raid or a 6-man raid or a 1-man raid or how many battles we have to do.
I mean, it clearly is going to be a 5 because.
Why do you say that?
Tarkin
leading
plus
clones.
4 clones. Otherwise, there's no one else that could lead the other team unless there's just not enough characters, I guess.
Well, they changed. This is the problem. I did I put out my video on this as soon as I saw it, and then in the great CG spirit, they edit the post like 2 hours after I've done my video, and then it makes my video make no sense. So they changed who gets to be used in the raid. It used to say Order 66 characters, and now it says something like Era of the Nightfall
Revenge
characters.
of the Sith characters.
Yeah.
So Era of Revenge of the Sith is the one which is is Revenge of the Sith era units is what we're going into. So that's what the whole thing is.
Exactly.
Called.
So
Era
it's like
of the Revenge of the Sith.
However, the Vanguard
only
characters and the dark
those,
side clones.
I think, as you were pointing out properly on Friday, it only says Revenge of the Sith era units, so it's only technically those 6. So they haven't technically said that Jocasta Nu is usable in the raid. We're assuming
we are making an assumption
in the raid because it's a very safe assumption to make.
It also doesn't say legendary Mace Windu. But I'm assuming he's going to be like the Jar Jar for Natal of Babu.
Yeah.
Well,
today we're on the era of mispronunciations. So
it's the same thing with Queen Amidala leading into the Naboo raid, and then the legendary squad for Gungans showing up as well. It seems to be they're not shoving in a GL around it. They're just going, okay, here's a legendary squad. Here is another squad that just happens to be a part of this, and then we'll run from there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the only thing that sucks about this one is this is pretty badly front loaded into start farming hard and fast for this raid because you got the entire Bad Batch squad. So there's 5 marquees. There's 6 marquees at a minimum in the next era that are all going to be required in the raid.
Yep.
As
Which,
well as
real quick, I know that they want to push the new Bad Batch and everything, but the old Bad Batch has way more right to be there for an Order 66 raid than the ones from season 3. Sorry,
Hey,
But
anyway,
people
they're
have
over.
the old Bad Batch, Wolfie.
exactly.
And mine are all like R7, R8, R9.
But there's a strong chance
Fuck.
that they can still do that though. We could do what we did in the previous raid where we have 4 light side teams and 1 dark side team running in the raid, you know, for the most
Well, it just
part.
specifies new Bad Batch squad.
It just that's all it does specify that. It doesn't say that, but then there's just
Yeah.
the other
There's-
things that we have to.
Well,
but we can
that's
just
the
know-
interesting
know-
part,
Technically
right?
Assuming.
New Bad Batch squad, Era of the Revenge of Sith, which is obviously the Dark Side clones and Vanguards that we're getting, but we're making some assumptions on Vanguard. And then there's Transmission Lost, which implies there's another faction tag that's going. You know, what do you guys think the Transmission Lost is? What do you think is the missing faction, or 2 factions?
Well, obviously Jedi Vanguard is going to be in the raid. That if
Well,
you-
yeah, but I think that's implied by Era of Revenge of the Sith.
yeah. I would assume that too.
It can refer to a lot of things. I mean, I was sort of thinking it could potentially be like, you know, Kenobi was the one who put out the transmission saying, "Hey, everyone, stay away from the Jedi Temple." So it could potentially be like a JMK and
Okay.
JMK and friends. It could be like a weird transmission loss for like, oh, we're gonna bring in Ahsoka traveling through world between worlds because
Yeah.
reasons. So there's definitely a lot of ways they could go with it. I don't think. It's
You know
gonna
what
be,
I'm hoping for?
Ahsoka, but.
I'm hoping that we get something that brings some relevance to Padme lead. I would like to see a revitalized Padme leadership.
You mean
Galactic
OG
Republic.
Yeah,
Yes,
OG
not Queen Amidala, Padme Amidala. So I know that would imply that we need some reworks or new Galactic Republic characters to join the game. And that would imply that we'd have to wait another era. So that's the only bit where it kind of falls down. But I would like to make Padme a little bit more useful again. Because
You know what I would like? I would like all 5 teams to have a raid on me that allows me to auto.
You know what I thought he was
I'll be
gonna
down for
say?
that. I'll be down for that.
I thought he was gonna say he wants Padme, but
I did you if anybody saw my face when Cart says, "Do you want?" I was like, "You want Padme bent over a barrel?"
Padme.
Oh.
That's what I thought he was gonna say.
I'm gonna be honest with you though. There are other characters on the top of the list before you get down to Queen Amidala. I'm just saying, she's not quite my type, but that's okay. Wouldn't say no either if that was.
Wouldn't kick her out of bed, but no.
Yeah,
Well-
but I'm just saying, if I had to choose the hypothetical person who was gonna be there,
I'm
would
gonna
be the
say
top
no to
destination.
Queen Amidala and say yes to Padme because I remember the events of Episode 1 and the age that the characters technically were. I don't know how the fuck they thought that Natalie Portman at 18 was gonna pass off as a 13-year-old. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, yeah, it is what it
I
is.
think
Like, what the fuck was their problem? I don't.
To be
I
honest,
don't know
though,
what was wrong with
to
them.
be honest, though, it's like you didn't really think about it or consider it until like the very end when like she was not in a makeup or a hooded cowl over her head. Like she definitely didn't pass on the Naboo starship either for being young. But
No, she definitely didn't come off as like 13, 14.
No.
So.
no, she did not.
But they also I don't think they ever explicitly say her age in that film, do they? So it's almost like it's not really an issue when you're first watching it. You don't even consider it, right? Oh, really? Oh,
I think she
can.
says like I was like this age when I was elected or something like that. I don't remember.
He's drastically older than.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember like talking about this recently. Like somebody was curious how old she actually was during the film. We look it up, and she was actually 18 when the film released.
I mean,
That was
the only
Attack of the
reason.
Clones? Okay.
The only reason I know that she was 14 is because of The Saga Begins.
Oh,
So-
14. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's just
Well,
9 and she's 14. Yeah, he's probably gonna marry her. See, Weird Al is spreading lore. Yeah.
My brain did the same thing. I was trying to remember the lyrics.
No, I just want to sing that song. It's just such a catchy song. But there we go. We won't sing that
It's a
song.
great song.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
I don't know where else they draw from for the because my brain wants to go maybe separatists should get a chance to show up again, maybe for this particular
It's
one. But I
weird,
can't.
right? Because it's very
Nah.
it's like we're very
I
locked
think no
in around the
separatists.
factions involved at that point in time, right? It's not like there's
Yeah.
loads of shit going on in Revenge of the Sith. I mean, obviously there is, but it's not like, yeah, we'll bring the Gungans in and we'll bring the Separatists in. It's like
Do you think we get some
GG.
bounty hunters?
bounty
Because
hunters.
Palpatine,
there was some
Palpatine did.
leaks, right?
There was Palpatine did hire Cad Bane at one point to like do a job and like try and steal a holocron from the Jedi Temple. He like had hired them to like go and do like an assassination, set something up, and he like had done a bunch of things over there. Do you think we could get like
part
some
of the
bounty
raid?
hunters with that? Remember the cube and all that shit? Remember?
As part of the raid. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it's part of the raid. Yeah.
It's possible. Again, I just don't know where they pull from because most of the characters from that story arc, the only ones that are like actually
Yeah, I'm
in the
trying to
game
think.
is Cad and maybe Aura, because everyone else is non-existent during that time frame or have already been killed.
Maybe they do what they did with Maul and Sidious in this raid, and they take one or two bounty hunters and they give them synergy with another Empire team. You know,
That's a
like
possibility.
just for the raid.
Yeah.
You know, but then you'd almost think
Absolutely,
that
yeah.
Darth Sidious would be a character to be used there, but this is where it gets weird.
Yeah.
This is like why I was so thrown off by this, because I was not expecting them to reuse so many characters like in a row, and
Yeah.
they're inevitably gonna be double dipping between like the last raid characters and these raid characters, and it's just so similar right off the bat that I really didn't think they were going down this road. But
yeah. I mean, honestly,
so much I know.
Honestly, to be honest, I'm surprised that we've got the new Bad Batch named in the raid. Like, I was like, oh,
I mean,
all right.
like, I'm
Hey,
not
it's new characters.
for the
that's literally the only reason. Let's be honest. It's like,
that's
yeah,
it.
fuck it. We need a team. We need a faction to throw in there. They are the
the fact that they did absolutely like there was nothing supporting them or their use. It's like they were gonna tie them in somewhere to make them needed. You know,
they feel like the Jabba the Hutt of the Crate Raid team, right? It's like,
yeah,
you know, it's like, yeah, sure, the bounty hunters and Jabba the Hutt, they were there. They fought a Crate Dragon. So it's like, yeah, sure, why not?
You remember the Jawas
yeah.
went and bravely fought the Crate Dragon by themselves.
Yeah.
They were on the planet when a Crate Dragon attack was happening. You know, I'm sure at some point in time, you know, statistically speaking,
Jabba faced off against a Crate Dragon. I mean, it feels like Jabba would be quite literally a sitting duck for a nice meal for a Crate Dragon. Like, what's he going to do? He can't move.
I mean, he would probably
Seriously.
be on what most Hutts do, which is he would have some sort of, you know, war machine that he would be on or in or observing from.
Sure.
Like,
Oh yeah, he'd be very far away. But if he
Jabba
was there
really
observing,
if he really wanted to kill a Crate Dragon, he would just take a starship over the den and
he'd be in his speeder thing, like with the Sarlacc pit. You know, he goes over there. They do all the dirty work, and he doesn't get close. He doesn't get his hands dirty. I mean, his hands are already dirty. You know.
Well, they've got that frog paddy pond thing.
Exactly.
Just grabbing that and squeezing that.
You think he washes those hands? Come on.
Nah,
he
he likes
probably
it.
has somebody that washes them for him. Let's be honest.
Probably
One of
Slave
those
Leia,
Sarlacc.
to be fair. But yeah.
She probably had him lick him clean.
Oh.
Anyways.
Yeah. So it feels kind of weird. I understand why they've done it because it's new faction. And to be honest, I probably wouldn't be investing in them this hard if they weren't required. Now that I know they're required, I'm like, right, time to relegate all of them. Let's go.
A Bad Batch.
Yeah.
I took them. R8 on the main, and then I took the other ones that I have unlocked on R7 on the alt, and when Crosshair gets there, I'll get up into R7. I just want to see what they're gonna need because my sneaking suspicion with this in particular is they're gonna kind of do something similar to what they did with like the Lumi and Keller and Beck runs on the in this particular one,
Right.
where it's like they need to hit a certain relic threshold before they can function.
Oh
as a
yeah.
team.
Oh,
Um,
100%. They
even
do
though
that
you
with
can
all
Yeah.
the.
Oh god, yeah. They do that all
absolutely.
the time. It's like,
Yeah.
yes, this team is crap until you hit the Relic 8 team, and then they're phenomenal.
Yeah,
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 like, ah.
then B2 reduces the enrage cooldown, and suddenly they function.
It's
suddenly
almost
you can
like it was
basically
meant
auto.
to be that way.
Well, they didn't mean
Yeah.
that one to exist, but I'm happy it
Yeah.
did because
So
I
yeah.
don't understand CG's effort to make the raid so challenging. It's just like we just gotta do this like every week for like the next 9 to 12 months. So please just
fun.
don't make me
I
pull my
mean,
hair out.
yeah. My problem is I have none of the new Bad Batch at 7 star. So like,
Yeah.
But you've at a minimum
I'm at
though,
6-star on all of them.
you've got like 3.5 months until they
yeah.
release,
So I've just today got Omega to 6 stars. So she's 3 out of 100. My wrecker, I have a lot more shards. I must have been luckier on pulls, and I think I won a prize on Ranger Stream to get some pulls there. So he's at 33 out of 100. But then the rest are all 5 stars. So they're like 60 out of 85, 33 out of 85, 73 out of 85. So they've got a long way to go. But, I know I can finish that in like a month and a half when they become farmable. So it's not the biggest deal, but...
yeah. The one that's
I
gonna
did not
suck
realize
is
she was farmable.
yeah, she's been
I just
farmable
hadn't been farming her.
for like a week or something like that, I think.
Oops.
the
I have
one
not
that's
been
gonna
farming her.
Better get on that.
Now I have.
Wolfie's like, okay, 15 sims of Omega it is.
Yeah, the one that's gonna suck though are gonna be the new. It's gonna be. It really comes down to is how much can the Jedi Vanguard faction run without Mace? Because like Gungans were able to, of course.
Oh yeah, they could
Right.
4-man without Jar Jar. Yeah.
But the problem is Mace is gonna 100% be the Jedi Vanguard leader, unless Keller and Beck somehow can step up in its place
Mm-hmm.
to do the role. So it's like that one is where I have more concerns on is that faction. And even same with like Bad Batch, we have time to farm. Clones are gonna have to be a rush job if you want the Tarkin team to work. But the Jedi Vanguard one is like how much of that's gonna need at least Jocasta and the 2 new Marquis plus a temporary leader and then whoever you're allowed to fill with. And then what else?
Maybe maybe you're right, and they so maybe you're right in the clone trooper team. They get 2 GAC Omicrons, 2 TW Omicrons, and the raid Omicron goes on one of the new Jedi Vanguards, and they make it like the Gungan team, where like you can either have the legendary or have the Omicron, or it's easier, and
Yeah, they might
try and
do
have
that.
that same sort of dynamic with that.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
that you still let us do the raid army for 10 armies.
That would be nice. Oh my god, because then we gotta have a raid on me.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be okay with multiple raid armies. Like, honest to God, like, if a raid army allows me to auto the fight with whatever team it goes with, I'm gonna slap that on there. Like, I'll relic them, but I'm just gonna slap it and press auto because it's like it's fun
Slap
to
it and
play
pray.
the first few times, but it's like after like month 2, you're like, oh my god.
I am so over
Yep.
this.
Well, it's even my current one, I do both accounts at the same time, and I basically just let the accounts auto where they can back and forth.
Yeah.
While I play the other one manually, but it's just like it still takes like 30-45 minutes to get through both accounts, and it's just like it isn't really worth the effort right now. And I would be happier. I would happily invest a little bit more on an Omicron and or relic levels to be able to put a team on auto versus ever having to touch it again.
Yeah. I feel you.
But that's a personal
slant,
I guess.
Yeah.
That is definitely a good call about starting to have to work on the new characters though as well. I gotta apply all the frickin' Zetas now. Probably should have seen that coming that they're gonna be needed for the new raid.
Yeah. I think I'd already like dropped all of the abilities, and I'd taken them all up to gear 11 and all that sort of nonsense. So they've got all their Zetas, just no Omnis, because I didn't think there was any point in Omniing,
A team that you can't use right now. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Well,
much.
I mean, the net positive though is that they're going to force people to take this team up because the new Bad Batch team is actually with their Omicrons and play and everything else. They're pretty good.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
no, I
can
have heard
run
they're pretty good.
them. They can take out Leia. They can take out a couple other GLs.
Is that
which
how much of that is driven by Huntercron, or is it not?
It's not because Huntercron
Okay.
only
Is a mercenary
only
one,
impacts him and well, because the mercenary tag only impacts him and Wrecker, and then the bonuses that everything else comes down the pike from, is most of it's if everyone's mercenary, and so the only thing he hits out of the Huntercron level 9, I believe, is speed, which is not doing a hell of a lot for them in particular.
Yeah.
So it's doing fine. I mean, I've been able, depending on the Leia lineup, I've been able to beat Leia with that team in Squad Arena. So
Oh, sick. Okay, that's kind of
so
cool.
a lot of one. It's the honest to God, the hard part is getting Crosshair to deal damage because of the the massive accuracy debuff he has for a little bit. But once he can deal damage, he just tears things apart. So I think getting everyone kind of forced into relicking up his team and using it is going to make people feel a little bit better about the squad. But it's definitely one of those teams where it's like, if anything under R5, and it's just not, it's going to flounder. It doesn't do anything without the damage off
So
the
it's
Crosshair.
yeah, but if they are a raid team, I hate to say it, but it's going to be in your interest to take them R7, R8, R9. Like that's the frustrating part.
Well, and at least on the plus side here is, Wrecker, Omega, and Crosshair all have mechanics in their kits that scale off of their relic amplifier level. So at least most of them have a benefit to that extra levels if you want to go that far.
I'm not going to 9.
I can't argue that. I don't want anybody to do it unless it's
I'm probably not going. I'll probably R8 the whole team. I'm probably not going to R9 unless CG decides to revisit that whole. There's an extra tier of guild rewards at Relic. If ever they go back to that.
Is there another box?
Yeah. Is there another box, or are they changing the thresholds to mean you just need to have more in order to hit the boxes we're already hitting? We're getting creep in a lot of areas of the game. So
if they make that change, that announcement needs to come sooner than later. But
yeah, for sure.
I don't think they'll try and sneak it in the back door. To be honest, I think they'll keep it the same. But I'm saying, I'm playing devil's advocate here more than anything.
Yeah, I would expect them to keep it the same as Naboo raid. As this junction, don't see if there's a reason to go beyond that unless they start adding in character shards to the current active raid for some sort of reward. Then I could see that people wanting to push for that. But I mean, luckily with the dark side clones, you're kind of wanting to high relic them anyways because Lord Vader is a whore for a high relic team. So
that is true.
You're kind of incentivized to make that kind of like your Queen Amidala team and just take your clones to R9 or R8, whatever you're
just relegate everything.
Well, that's what you do anyways, right?
Carter's like, yeah, everybody just relocates everything anyway. Nobody is like pinched for signal data and relic mats.
Every new marquee I get goes to R8 just because we're going to use it somewhere. But the clone troopers, my brain would go to you're going to want them high relic anyways because that's what Vader wants on his team for siphoning mastery is high relic investment. So that one's kind of okay. You can make that kind of like your Queen Amidala thing, and sure as shit, this era battle is going to have relic lockouts too.
God, without doubt, yeah.
So
star lockouts and then relic lockouts.
Yeah, you're not gonna get like completely disenfranchised for not making that investment because you'll have it between the raid and then these temporary era battles, which I'm assuming, I don't know how they're gonna make the era battles work. The timetable, my brain goes, they're era battles. Of course, they're gonna be active during the era that they come in, but then it's like, okay, but there's no way they would make the current new clones part of that requirement because which they are, that says it right in the description.
Yeah.
It's 2 months until they're released. So
Yeah. See, this is it's kind of the crazy thing. This is why I feel like the raid can't drop immediately in July, because
yeah, I don't
it's
know.
like, are you really gonna have a whole faction basically that people can't play unless they've whaled? Because
Well, I mean, they did that in pseudo with the Gungans, though, right? Jar Jar released, and then the raid came right before that. I think Jar Jar's first release, or right after, one of the two.
was
During,
it?
I don't remember.
Ah.
I don't remember.
Okay,
I know it was close.
I can't remember. I'll be honest.
I know it was close.
I think it was like 2 weeks afterwards. 2 weeks after Jar Jar dropped.
But yeah, you got the Jedi Vanguard,
Quite
which
shortly.
Yeah.
Then that's the other question too. Who do we use to unlock Maze? Is it a Jedi Vanguard legendary event, or is it Darkside clones that we take to unlock Maze? Because that's going to be a double gut punch on top of all this other. There's just so much stuff where I'm just watching the crunch on resources.
All
and
of these
materials.
characters, it says all 6 of those characters will be required at the end of the era to unlock the Jedi Vanguard leader.
There you go.
Oh.
See, Wolfie reads. So yeah, it's just gonna.
It's in front of my face.
It's right in front of my face. There we go then. Yeah. So.
No, it's where they put all these notes and stuff. Okay, so they're gonna. All right, so that still means you got 6 characters to wail on.
Yeah.
To be ready. And then that last character, of course, is gonna show up within the first, or by the first week of the last episode.
Yeah.
Sorry, it'll be the 3rd week of the last episode. So that's gonna be a lot of nonsense going on. I'm not gonna lie.
That is a lot of business. That is a lot of business.
This is gonna be an expensive era, just because if you're in a top guild and you need to start pushing out raid numbers fast, you're gonna have to do a lot to keep up. Otherwise, you're gonna see a massive pushback on raid rewards.
Yep, no doubt. It's kind of crazy, to be fair. It's kind of crazy.
It's gonna be a nutty 4 months. I'm not gonna lie, but I can't see the raid coming before Mace.
No, God no.
So
yeah, it'll be a couple weeks after.
The question then at that junction: does the next era fall in line with either like Andor, or because I can't imagine us going back to Bad Batch so soon, or ever again? Do we?
I would not be opposed.
Mount Tantus? Do we? Where do they head with the content?
Well, you were just saying Mount Tantus.
Yeah,
Mount Tantus is Bad Batch.
I know. I just the Empire side of it, I guess, was where my brain was looking at. Was like doing the dark side things, doing Dr. Hemlock.
Hemlock, yeah.
Hemlock.
Yeah, that came up earlier in the chat. Yeah, it came up earlier in chat. Like CX2, I would 100% be down with that if he was part of the Dr. Hemlock team and had like some all like the enhanced clones and whatnot, and was fucking around with that, and then like actually had some more 501st type clones hanging out with Lord Vader. Have it make a little bit more sense. So
yeah.
But like you said, I'm not sure.
My brain says the next one should fall in line with Andor, just because of the content release cycle, but who knows? Typically, we don't follow shows that are just releasing. We typically follow stuff that's like about a year out. So
we're gonna be getting Skeleton Crew.
We've only had one thing from Andor season 1, right? Just Luthen.
Yeah, Luthen. Luthen was the only thing that we got. Well, because I mean, the Saw we got was from Fallen Order, which is pretty close to the Saw that we see in Andor.
It's the same era. Yeah.
So it's like I don't know where they go necessarily with that. And I don't know. Maybe they bring in. They can bring in some new Rebel stuff. Maybe they just say F it and we don't do anything from Andor. Maybe they do New Empire and we get ISB side of things. Maybe we get some characters from Fallen or Jedi Survivor Jedi Survivor 2. Maybe I mean, there are areas we could go, but it's just I can't really see CG doing Acolyte.
No, I
It's
can't see
possible,
Acolyte.
but I can't see it. I could see a one-off like
Get the Acolyte's name out of your goddamn mouth.
I will have none of them. I will be skipping that era.
I could see like a one-off of one of them coming, like what's his nuts?
Yeah.
Kamiru. I could
How
see.
Sorry, Kamiru.
Kamiru, yes, thank you.
How about we just get like how about we get like another Yoda, and we can say it's technically an Acolyte character because he was in Acolyte, right?
Because he had 6 seconds of cameo.
Let's get Yaddle in there, and we'll just be like, it's Acolyte adjacent. She was alive during the time. Come on.
Perfect. I have no problem with this.
But yeah, I
have no problem with that.
My brain's just kind of searching for where the content would go, and because I mean, I wouldn't mind pirates. I wouldn't mind them doing so that photo that was data mined that 666 that actually wasn't added. It was removed from the game.
Oh really?
That the image was removed. Likely it's being repurposed for a different asset. But there is an off chance that maybe the next one is just kind of a freebie of let's do some bounty hunter love, and let's do the Asajj mercenary. Let's do that character was part of the crew that young Boba Fett puts together. I think it's called the Crate's Claw. So they Aura's a part of that. Boss is a part of that. There's a couple others that are in the mix.
I forget their names, but like the one person with like the throws out like the whip chain flower thingy over there. You know what I'm talking about? They got a couple like weird ass bounty hunters.
That was the one that was data mined, wasn't it? Well, data mined to have been removed.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was her. But they could do something with that. That's a possibility. I've been on this for probably like 6 months now. I'm just really hoping CG gets off of the keeping up with the Joneses of what's being released through Disney, and let's go somewhere else.
Oh, Dengar too, yeah.
Yeah, Dengar's a part of that as well. So I would be okay with a lot of different options, but my brain's trying to where do they run next, because I really would love to have some an era or two where we just bolster factions and make things fun, because I feel like there are so many teams now that are just dying out to power creep, and there's nothing they can really do anymore. So either to make them more powerful, or you need to turn around and bolster them with some sort of new leader or new Omicron or whatever else that comes down the pike. So
like the Zalbar Omicron.
Yeah.
I still haven't applied that, but I have done something to my Zalbar now, Karth.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
What you up to?
We hit our sub goal on Friday.
Oh yeah.
So I had to R9 Zalbar.
Now, did you R9 Karth?
I'll give you one guess. The irritating thing is like my Juhani and my mission are still like Relic 3, and I still haven't applied that Omicron. So it's like I have an R9 Zalbar. I should probably do that.
Yeah, but the problem is at a minimum, you have the Juhani Ami though for
I do
for TW, right? Yeah. Why is it only Relic 3?
Because fuck Juhani.
She's just there for her Omicron and nothing else.
Listen. The guild requirement was to have the Omicron. It was not to have her at Relic 8. Okay.
Okay.
She's tank. Relic 9 a bust, bitch. No, I'm kidding.
That can be the next R9 sub.
The problem is though is that Mission's gonna want, if you do put the Omicron, Mission's gonna want at least R7 just because of the sacrifice mechanic from DR. If you do put the Omicron on there on Zalbar.
Yeah.
Because you steal mission stats, so the
higher exactly
are the better. So
yeah, and the Juhani gaining all that additional offense would help if she had more relic levels apart from 3. I know she's not an attacker, so she's not going to be gaining lots, but 400% offense is 400% offense.
You can mod her to get decent numbers where she could still probably have like 28 to 30k offense when you're doing.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
but it's still like she's not an attacker, so she's not like modded for like you have to mod her pretty heavily into an
Yeah,
attack
and
role.
this is not something that I'm really willing to lean into right now.
No,
You know what I mean?
especially since it doesn't do anything like meta. Like
Yeah.
if it was punching up versus like a triple Ami led team, like if it could go roll over Gungans or Queen Amidala, then I would be laughing that all the way to the bank.
If it could deal with Queen Amidala, I would happily do it. Yeah. But
and it can't though because Queen Amidala punishes the crap out of turn attacking, and it's just gonna have a bad time.
So I just at the moment and right now with all this raid news and knowing that I need to essentially relic up at least 12 characters to high relics in the next 3 months. I don't want to be wasting I don't want to be wasting additional relic mats trying to relic up Mission and Juhani to make them
all of a sudden
vaguely
regretting
usable.
my R9 Geo investment.
Did you R9 your Geos?
I did. Well, everyone besides Poggle.
Yeah, because fuck Poggle. He's the lesser.
I did it for the pilots, essentially, and then I did Geo Brood Alpha for the summons. But yeah, no, I was like bored, and I had like 180 like R9 mats, and I was like,
Well, the
we're gonna
good
do it.
keypads.
Yeah, and then
Goddamn, dude.
I made some poor decisions. So
yeah, I mean, if you want to send me some R9 mats, I'll take them. I'll take them off your hands.
I will trade anybody Zeta mats for arrow magnifiers. I'm not really picky on the conversion rate as long as I get enough.
Oh yeah, I do gotta start building up arrow mags. We're gonna start relocating some shit.
Oh god, I dread to look at my arrow mags right now. How many have I got?
I think about around 100.
I've got 74. No, that's not really enough. 74 is not enough.
I'm at 89 right now.
I'm at 107.
Wolfie's doing the best out of all of us.
I still need a lot more though.
Yeah, we all need like 3 times as much, I think.
Let's go whale on some right now to be more than Wolfie.
God damn it!
My ego can't take this. Hold on, where's my credit card?
No. When the 500 crystal packs come back out, I always buy the arrows for that because
That's fair.
I got to keep building back up.
That's a good call.
I gotta quit dumb investing. It's just it was like I was so bored and I knew I had so much time because like there was nothing going on and I was already gonna R8 the Bad Batch team. I was like, we're gonna just do a bunch of. I think I did 6 R9s in one day.
Wow.
I did Juhani, I did General Grievous, then I did the 4 Geos, and I regret it a little.
There was some regrets.
Seems like a bit much.
Yeah, it's gonna. Everyone's gonna say that, and then we're gonna get Trench with the new capital ship. He's gonna take the Geos, and it's gonna be great.
Yep, it'll be perfect. And it's your Trench R9.
Some top tier copium right there. What?
Yep.
No, he's not. He is only R8.
Oh, for shame. For shame. Yeah. No. Yeah, I'm a little bit scared about all the relic levels that I'm gonna have to start trying to throw in there.
We have a little time.
We do have a little time.
Oh yeah.
And I'm a little concerned about the next set of
4 months.
marquees, because 6 marquees, and I'm not whaling at the minute, is gonna be painful when the new raid drops. I'm gonna have to like quadruple refresh those nodes when they become farmable to be like, quick, get the shards to unlock these people real quick.
You're gonna have to start putting out the additional OnlyFans.
Yes, I will have to. I'm gonna have to double down on the OnlyFans content.
The stream is for fundraising for the IVF.
Yeah.
And then the OnlyFans is for seeing
marquee packs.
How it's made.
Oh, I didn't think that was the line you were going to go with. That's brilliant. Jesus Christ. Man. Oh God.
I'm a child. It's okay.
I feel like there's still something else that was dropped that we haven't spoken about.
We haven't touched the crons at all.
Oh yeah, focus datacrons. Focus
They did.
datacrons.
They did announce the focus datacrons. They haven't really
Yeah.
told us like a hell of a lot of useful information on them.
We're
which-
assuming the Afracron is gonna be Afra.
yeah,
It's gonna
regular
be
one with,
Afra
like,
BT1
like,
triple
like,
zero.
The bonus. I mean, like the
Well,
bonus turn one.
Oh,
we
sorry.
know,
Maybe.
we know that they are doing multiple characters that are getting the bonuses.
I'm assuming each
saw
one has got
that-
3 characters.
Yeah, I'm assuming that as well.
Wait, what?
Which is actually so we saw from the Harrison.
Well, the first one has
Dualacron,
4.
the 4
We're
characters.
talking about the episode shipments and assault battles and everything with the
no,
focus
no,
datacrons.
no, the
The-
number of characters boosted on the datacron.
Yeah. So the one with
It's
the
not
screenshot we
what
had
level 9.
of focus
Oh,
datacrons,
okay.
it showed Kanan, Hera, and who was it? Chopper.
Gotcha.
Kanan. I thought it was Kanan, Ezra,
I can't remember.
and
It
I have to find
it
the
showed
picture.
3 characters essentially. So it's essentially insinuating that you can get 3 level 9 character abilities. You know what I mean? Per focus datacron. So I'm assuming Afra would be Afra BT1 Trip 0, and then Boba Fett, Sino Django might have Fennec and Bam or something, and Zalbar probably has Mission and Carth. I would guess.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Maybe.
So
I'm assuming. Yeah, I would assume Karth as well, just to bolster the team up. But yeah, the big question for me is the total cost
yeah,
to level 1 up,
they're
because
huge.
the normal level 9s, they take about 7 million data cache. They take about 150 of the Mark 1s, and then like 300 of the other 2 to get there. But we're basically, I wouldn't say, well, because we saw from the screenshot that the first level was a 50% increase in cost to upgrade.
Yeah.
So if we assume that across
and
the
mats.
board,
And Mats.
yeah,
So-
everything was 50%.
Yeah.
If that remains consistent, that's going to be, those crons, not only are they taking away from what you can invest in from your weekly shipments, which I'm hoping CG goes, hey, maybe we need to add some more currency.
Yeah.
Do the free to play route, please, because even though I would buy anything anyways, you were doing the math.
Yeah, no,
last
the math
week.
looks really shit for people that don't buy the pass.
And that's the thing, is like the single data, or the datacron is going to add more value to an account than a Omicron. For the most part, I would say that datacron is going to add way more value. But the problem is, of course, it only lasts 4 months. So
yeah,
Omicrons are forever. So that's kind of where my brain just like scratched and going like, how do they?
I just
how do they
don't
make this
see.
accessible?
I don't see anybody in the bit that confuses me is that, like, who's it supposed to be targeted at? Because it sends a bit of a it sends a bit of a mixed message, I feel, because the focus datacrons can be used on Gear 5 characters, which tells me they're trying to spread the net wide.
Yeah.
But then they're also charging 10,000 episode currency, which basically says if you've not got the episode pass, you have to buy no Omicrons, sorry, if you want to get all of them, right? If you want to get all of them. And that immediately narrows it all the way back down again. So I'm a bit confused about who they're trying to entice here. And I think the people that dislike datacrons are going to hate this, because they're like, fuck, I'm not giving up Omicrons. And then they'll say, fuck the whales. Whale's gonna whale, get datacrons, even though it's not really a whaling thing. It's just like that confuses
definitely a
me.
whaling thing. If you get the pass and everything, it's definitely a whaling thing. Because if you get the pass and the pass plus and whatnot, you can probably end up getting. I haven't done the math yet, so I don't know what.
If you get the pass,
it's
it's easy. You just have to sacrifice certain things, right? You just.
No, I mean the pass plus.
I don't think the pass. Well, if you get the pass plus, you could probably get everything. But
if you get the base pass and you don't get all the modding material, you can easily sort out, you know, the income, because it's not that challenging. You get you have a decent amount by the end of it that you can just kind of wait and hold on to it without having to. The Pass Plus will give you an extra week of getting additional currency, but I think with the base pass, no matter what, as long as you're not just like dumping your materials on everything that you could find useful, then it shouldn't be hard to have it set aside. It just means you're not going to get everything from the modding section, but you can still easily afford all your Omicrons, maybe pick up some attenuators or the higher end mod slicing materials, and then you should still have plenty left. I mean, I'm at the end of week 3. I've got 70k sitting in my reserves on both accounts, and I just buy the base pass.
Yeah, I've only got 30k, but I buy quite a lot out of that store. So I've stopped using my episode currency because I want to be able to put myself in a position where I can at least get most of the FTCs as soon as possible when they first drop, because I'm going to want to be able to test them out and see what they do. So
yeah, and I at the same point, where was I going with that train of thought? Oh yeah, because with my main account, I've maxed sooner because of finishing all the additional marquee quests. So that's what has this
and
a little bit of a spread.
So we did touch on this earlier as you were going through, Garth, but it does worry me because not only is it a 50% cost increase, if we're assuming that's a linear progression and everything is 50% more expensive, but it's also 15 levels. It feels like to max out one of these crons, it's going to cost you like 30 million. Like 30 million data cache.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's a fuckload.
But the thing is, too, though, is that just from what we saw on the Kanan level 3, I cannot see a reason why those would not be the 4 most important things to upgrade every season, and then everything else be damned.
What, like speed run the FDCs and then work on normal datacrons?
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, you look at a Cron where the level 3 ability is nobody can die until Kanan dies.
Yeah, and we haven't even seen what the others are yet. The
we
other
don't even
abilities.
have what Hera's level 15 is. So it's just like my brain just goes like, they're making these things insanely powerful for the sake of, like, you know, this reminds me so much of Digimon. It's kind of humorous to me that we just keep adding things to the teams to make things more powerful, to bring older teams up to the new power level. So it's like we're adding our next Digi device upgrade. Like
Sure. I totally played Digimon. I never played Digimon.
No. Watch the
Watch.
TV show.
Is it? Yeah, I think I remember an episode.
Oh, come on.
I don't think I ever watched the Digimon show. I played the PlayStation 1 game. That was actually pretty banging.
The whole thing is that they're just adding more things into the mix to bring these older teams up into relevancy. But that's going to be the thing, is that you're going to want to chase that, because if Hera has anything from the last time we had a Phoenix Cron that was, you know, just mowing down anything that did debuffs, I don't think you're going to pass on that, and you're going to invest into it. And if you're in any kind of competitive guild, you're going to invest into it. Now, luckily, what they've said is that basically the investment is static, and you can figure out how far you want to go before you go work on something else. But
yeah,
man, I'm like, my brain's just going like, these are going to be like 20 to 25 million in data cache. They're probably going to be like 600 of most of the mats to get up there. And they might be one thing that they changed as well, just talking about upgrading them, is they might spread out how long it takes to switch over from Mark 1s to Mark 2s to Mark 3s to correlate accordingly to the different tiers now. So maybe we'll get more use out of the Mark 1s than we did before. Maybe they'll go through levels 1 through 6 or 1 through 5.
Maybe.
One, and then switch over. That would be helpful.
We're just making assumptions at this point, aren't we? It's going to take a certain path, but it won't necessarily. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I'll be curious to see, because we know we're getting four in this first one, and for people asking at home, essentially it's going to be joining the Enduring Power set. It'll dust at the same time. You cannot manually dust them, but when they do dust at the end of the set, you do get your mats back in the same way you would normally. I say you get your mats back. You get a fraction of your mats back.
Yeah.
And you can only buy one of each.
Yeah.
So
You only have one of each, and then you can. But yeah, they did clarify that, because they did say that they don't dust, and they came back and said that they couldn't be disassembled, so they changed the verbiage on the post, which that was okay. I was a little upset when they were like permanent power. It's like, shit, please no. Just everyone start wailing on these FDCs. So
yeah,
Right.
yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with them. I'm not opposed to having no RNG in my datacrons, but at the same time, it's just like, back to what your point was earlier. Who are they targeting with this? Because yes, it's easier for lower level players to access it, because they don't it's not in Conquest, it's not anywhere else. But like the materials that they need to upgrade this, most players are going to get enough to do maybe 2 to 4 normal crons, and these are going to have all the mats of like 3 to 4. So it's like,
Right.
they'll be able to do one maybe.
yeah, who are you, like there needs to be an additional influx of materials to the player base as well for them to even get the full advantage. I just don't understand where their heads are at, I guess, is the main issue. It doesn't seem like it's not gonna perform well with the demographic they want it to, because they're still barred from entry, because you have to be this tall to ride, and at this junction it's like,
I like that we can use them at
the
lower
bar
gear
is
levels. That's a good
$30
thing.
bucks a month. Like that's where CG's put it right now. It's like, well, if you just paid $30 to play our game each month, you could benefit from all of these things.
But weirdly, it's like you need to be this tall to ride, but you only need to be this tall to stand online. So you can get online, you can get the cron, but you may not be doing much with it.
Yeah, it's a nice paperweight. It's a very nice paperweight. You just won't have enough mats to upgrade it.
I'm with you. It feels kind of missing the mark.
Yeah.
Unless like they put a lot of bottom end power on them, and like getting them to like level 3 or 6 is enough to like for them to like manageably do it, then sure, I could see that being more useful than the current datacrons, because not very many of them have useful level 3s. But again, until I get hands on them, it's hard to give a proper criticism or even.
And we don't know if they'll be exactly the same.
Yeah. No,
maybe like each level, if they say it's 3 characters, maybe the first level is the BT1 aspect of it, the other level is the Trip 0 aspect, and then level 9 is where the Afra aspect comes in. Maybe they have like different levels for different characters, or maybe it's only like with GLs, like their abilities only have 3 levels anyways. Maybe it's just like a 3 level.
Yeah.
I mean, they could do a lot of different things with this. So we gotta see what the implementation really is before we can actually judge too much for this. So.
Based on like all we've got is that one screenshot. It looks like you get the level 3 is still like a normal level 3. It's like light side, dark
still
side.
Full level 3, okay.
And then it looks like
I've seen a screenshot.
It'll go 6, 9, 15. I don't know how they're going to do it, because like you would assume it would be like 6, 9, 12. But maybe we'll get like a level 6 faction. So maybe it'll go 3 is light side, 6 is first character, 9 is faction, 12 is second character, 15 is third character. But again, we don't know until we see it. So see Discord. Oh, thank you. Tass.
Okay, I see it. Okay,
how you doing, Tass? You alright, mate?
Okay, so it is. Okay, so level 3 is the light side thing. Level 6 is the Kane and Jarrus thing, and then it doesn't go on after that.
Yeah. We don't get to see the whole picture, unfortunately. But I mean, we say this, but like we should be able to. They're coming next week, so we should see it when the episode shipment refreshes in 1 day and 14 hours for me.
Okay, so yeah, focus datacron up to level 15. Gotcha. Uses the same datacrons currency, same stuff. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I wish
when
that
did
they
this,
would adjust the
wow.
cost or provide more data cache for not data cache, sorry, more episode currency for people. That's what I wish they'd do.
Oh my god, this came out the 26th. So much happened this week.
I know it's
Holy
been a
crap.
wild week in terms of Swigger stuff. Speaking of which, guys, I think we got about half an hour left of the talk. Should we have a look at questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Take a
piling
look.
in here.
They are piling in. Holy shitballs. All right. Okay. I didn't realize we had that many questions. All right. So, Frank and Johnny says, questions for next Sunday's Tribe Talks. Hey, that's now. We've seen plenty of cheaters manipulating the game while in match, Reddit posts, etc. But are there also cheaters manipulating drops? Like, no, Frank and Johnny. So essentially, this game works on two different ways. Yeah, there's what's known as client-side information that the game processes, and there's server-side information that the game processes. Things like drops. When you go to sim a drop, right, it sends a request to the server. The server calculates what you're going to get dropped, and it sends it back to your client. Yeah. The reason you can manipulate stats in-game is because when you go into a battle, that battle is not dictated server-side. Starting the battle goes to the server, right? You send a request to start a battle, activates the battle. Then you're in your game client. Everything that happens in that battle is done on your game client, not on the servers. So you can manipulate the stats there, or people who have hacked their APK to be able to manipulate stats. They will be able to manipulate their stats in real time, make themselves invincible, make themselves do infinite damage, that sort of sense, give themselves infinite speed, you know, that sort of thing, that sort of manipulation. And then they'll finish the battle, and then the result of the battle will get sent to the server, right? So anything to do with drops or like rolling a mod, that sends a request to the server in order to actually do it, and it gets calculated server-side and sent back to you. So people can't cheat to, well, as far as I'm aware, people can't cheat to manipulate the drops. I've never heard or seen anybody, give themselves 100% drop rates on shards. That would be sick.
It would be oddly easily to pick out because those people would be progressing too quickly. And the other side of the coin is that anything done on their end of the stick has a pretty extensive log. It's not that hard for them to suss out when things look silly. It might take them a while to find that, but that beside the point. It's not that hard to sort out.
Yeah. So that would be the first one.
Bam, no, one done.
I don't think that I don't know because I haven't seen any chatter about or anything new chatters about cheaters and hackers outside of the normal thing, which is, you know, people manipulating battles to win battles they shouldn't, rather than guaranteeing drops. I mean, if you could, like, if a hacker could manipulate like what roles happen on a mod, you would see some people with like 1,000+ 25 speed secondaries on their account. Yeah, they would have like the ultimate god tier mods. And they would probably have a lot of very similar looking mods, you know, things with 5 rolls of percentile offense and 5 rolls of speed at like 31, 32 speed with 8% offense.
They might mix it up and get some 0.9s in there too.
Yeah, see, I'm not cheating. But yeah, so I think we would know if something like that was happening. All right. So next question comes from Dr. Cobra. Discussion about expanding GAC. You could add an extra 4-team ground zone in front or in the front and add an extra 4-team ground zone in the back. However, on offense, you get to veto 1 zone in the front and 1 zone in the back.
Which zone you want to face, which zone you want to take out.
Yeah, you just get it's like a band selection where it's like, I put this board down and I had to choose a board where everything is equally as a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So that you don't just veto my hardest. Yeah, you don't veto my hardest board. But that basically, it's a way to add additional roster depth without having to get. But the problem that I see with that one in particular is that then you get to know everyone's defensive board. And it,
Well,
it
I
defeats
guess
the
you
purpose of
could
hiding things.
you could like veto. You couldn't veto the back wall until you've revealed it or something. But
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
um,
I'm not opposed to it as a way to help stretch out your roster, but definitely,
it would definitely make
definitely,
setting your defense a lot harder.
definitely the problem is that the biggest, powerhouse datacrons, like the most defensive viably teams, are always going to get vetoed, and so
Yeah.
that's the only problem I see with that kind of system where you can just eliminate a zone. It's like, what do I not want to face? Well, I really hate ships, so get rid of the ship zone. I don't care what that requires, or even if it's just character zones. Like, I don't have or can't deal with, Glat, so I'm gonna just get rid of that zone where she's present. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tumblr, it wouldn't be 4 more battles; it'd be no more battles. You'd have 2 extra zones, right? But
Yeah.
one of the
Two extra zones, but you're eliminating them.
You're eliminating
veto,
one
yeah.
of one of each of those zones each time. Yeah, so it's
So
no
if you
extra
had three
battles.
zones. So if you had 3 zones in the front, 4, 4, and 4, all those teams over that you say, okay, well, I got a Jabba in this zone, I got a Cat or a Ahsoka in this zone, and I got Leia in this zone. I have a counter for these 2. I don't have a counter for this one, so I'll take these 2 zones, and that one I'll just throw out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's kind of so it's netting
Which
the
could be
same.
interesting.
It's not a bad way of
Yeah.
doing it. Yeah, it's quite a good
Yeah.
suggestion. I quite like that one. It's interesting, and it would definitely make setting defenses a lot more of a headache because you'd have to think about how do I want to
A lot
split
more
the best
strategic in there.
teams to always
Yeah.
make it awkward for people to clear a particular zone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have a big threat in every zone.
Yeah, essentially.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I mean, when the thing is though is that, like, to my head goes, it doesn't seem good, but at the same time having to add an additional, because it's 8 teams
8 teams on
that
defense. Yeah.
that you have to deal with. That's 40 characters that you're not having for offense. So you might place more fluff, but at the same time, your multi-tap capabilities go down pretty hard too. So
What if they what if they
it's
took out a
weird.
team from each zone? So instead of having
feel-
4s, you'd go down to 3, but you'd have 2 zones. You veto, so you still have
Yeah.
like it's not quite as heavy-handed, and you'd actually end up doing less battles. So GAC is quicker, and you're stretching your roster wider.
Could be interesting.
I'm sure there's a way to math that out.
Open for discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we could put it forward to CG. They'll probably be like, no, but that's okay. It's nice to theory
like every
craft, right?
PvP suggestion that's been given to him for the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I mean,
so
they're doing their best.
yeah, we're living our best lives.
Lalna.
Lalna is a great name. So
It
now
is. It's fun
Lord,
to say.
yeah, Lalna, and plus it's a Flareon,
Lalna.
and I like
Oh my god.
I like evolutions.
I love it.
it.
Evolutions are awesome.
Although Flareon, whilst looks a badass, is kind of shit. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
It's all about that
unfortunately.
Vaporeon, baby.
Oh yeah, Vaporeon's where it's at, 100%.
Hell yeah. So Lord Vader is now getting an actual team. He is, I mean, again, to go with him. But how many people will regret taking Royal Guard to R9 now he's going to be kicked off the team?
Hey, he's still a pilot
0.
on a ship that doesn't get used.
Yeah.
But he's still a pilot, damn it.
I think for a lot of people, he's still going to have plug and play options. Like, again, in my opinion, CG is doing something new with Empire that's coming out later this year. This is the reason why they're splitting Lord Vader away from the Empire faction and back towards the clones. So my guess is that there's going to be something else coming out. It could be, a GL Emperor Palpatine. It could be something else that they want to bring in to bolster up an Empire team with. Maybe they want to make EP Mara a much more viable 2-man team that doesn't need Starkiller. Maybe Starkiller gets a new squad. There's endless possibilities of where they could run with that particular thing. So my guess is that the regret's going to be immediate, and then in 3 months or when we get the next air announcement, people are gonna be like, oh my god, this R9 Royal Guard's got a brand new home and now he kicks ass again. So
Yeah, you can never really be too mad about an R9 tank, generally speaking.
no,
I mean,
no.
you used him for a while. He had his use, and he did his job, and won you some GACs, and overall, I think it paid off.
Yeah. Well, and if Lord Vader's lead doesn't change too drastically, and the clones aren't just like overpowered monsters that make him all in by its second turn, then he might still have some plug and play use on that
Yeah.
squad depending on what crons are floating around. So
Yeah.
you can't write everything out forever these days.
Okay, so Zoidberg comes in with, not necessarily for Order 66 raid, but how do you think CG could implement a multi-phase raid like the originals with the current raid reward system? I mean...
So as in the raid has different phases and whatnot, and you need to get through all those those phases?
I mean, we kind of already do that with Battle for Naboo, really. We just don't call them waves.
Well, so if they want to do like multi-phase where you fight different things each time, they would have to kind of kick it back to how they did the raid in Home, where it's like you have the raid runs for a set period of time, but you have 1-day phases, and each day is a different activity or a different part of a raid theme. So that could be how they do that, where you only have a couple of attempts that you need to do each day, and maybe they lock out which factions are available each day. That there are options, but it's going to be unlikely. Odds are we're going to find something similar to what we did in Battle Naboo, where it's just you fight waves until you time out or you win. So I feel this feels like it's going to be a speeder bike pursuit raid all over again, at least in mechanic, where things are endless until you hit the enrage timer, and then
I really hope not.
I'm thinking that.
How many younglings can you kill?
Well, I'm thinking the final boss, like the reason you can't use Lord Vader is because the final boss is you're gonna get to the room of younglings and try and save them all from Lord Vader, and that's gonna be like the boss battle or whatever sort of thing over there. But I mean, like, so a multi-phase raid, Zoidberg. I mean, they could just have you fighting different. Like, what do you want? Just like to fight different people? Because you want to fight different people, they can do that very easily and just have it with the wave system and just say, hey, right now for Naboo we're on the ground, and now for this next phase we're fighting Darth Maul, and now for this next phase we're fighting this. So they could just go to a different wave over there and call it the phases. So they could do that. But sorry.
What you'll have to forgive me because I was drunk on Friday. I don't know if you noticed.
What
didn't we talk about how the raid could be us enacting Order 66 and jumping between the different Jedi Masters that the clones turn on? So it's like
told us what the raid is. By the way,
did they?
Yeah, it's in
so we're rescuing Jedi.
Yeah.
Sorry, say again. You spoke at the same time then.
You're rescuing Jedi from the temple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the players must
Scott.
Oh yeah, you had it. Players must race against time to attempt to rescue as many Jedi as possible from the onslaught.
Don't like
so we are trying to save
Vader.
Jedi from
is that onslaught?
So we are fighting clones, more than likely.
Yeah, it'll be waves of clones, and then I'm guessing Lord Vader will be there in some way, either directing it, kind of like how Darth Vader is like directing the fight in what do you call it? Was it the Luke unlock over there with like the timers going off?
He could be the enraged mechanic,
or he's just the final boss.
Yeah,
he's the enraged mechanic. Well, that's what that was. Like when you hit the 15 timer thing, then Lord Vader would come in. Sorry, Darth Vader would come in and would fuck you up.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing. Like once he finishes off, that's your final boss phase, and you gotta go and save as many younglings as you can.
Well, I'll try not to sound too disappointed until I see the raid, because at least eventually Battle for Naboo was better than it originally sounded like. So yeah, because I remember when it first came out, we were all thinking it was going to be exactly like the Conquest phase that we had. Was it like the bonus, the boss on Sector 3?
To be honest,
it's much better than that.
To be honest, though, is that so many people were expecting that. Like that was the expectation that's what we were going to get. Because that's kind of how the speeder bike pursuit raid felt at the time. So
yeah, absolutely right. All right, cool. We'll mosey on to the next question then. Fully OP comes in. What are your speculations for teams that can be used in the raid aside from the new Bad Batch and Evil clones? Do you think it's possible that we can use Rex and friends, or maybe even GL Kenobi? We kind of talked about this already.
Yeah,
I suppose.
Talk about this a little bit.
So we said maybe bounty hunters, right? Potentially.
So maybe bounty hunters. Obviously, a bunch of the Jedi will be seeing who are going to be in there. Keller and Beck, I'm sure will be part of it. All like the Jedi who died during Order 66, I'm sure will be in there trying to do some things. Who else are we talking about over here? For teams that can be used for the raid aside from New Bad Batch and the Evil Clones. Yeah, mostly just like the Jedi Vanguard. I think is going to be the biggest players in there.
Yeah.
Because if anything, there'll be some random what do you call it? Some random freaking Jedi, and not some random Jedi, some random bounty hunters in there. They might do Jedi Cal. You know, they might do a couple random things in there. So who knows?
There could be there could be some call outs for this could be some calls for specific GR characters too that they might want to use. They might do something like where we get GMY or specifically or whatever else that they could do.
Padme can be helping in some way, you know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Couple of options, really, isn't it? Yeah. I personally don't think that they'll use JMK. I don't know why. I just don't think they will.
So that was my point. Well, a point we brought up without Lord Vader being there. I think it's just economical is the reason why they're not putting Lord Vader there more than anything, is because you have 11 marquees, a conquest unit that we're speculating is they're going to use, and a legendary unit that we're speculating they're going to use for the raid. That's a pretty high bar to entry on probably about half the raid characters.
Yeah.
So throwing in a GL on top of that, I feel like would be a massive insult to anybody who's even attempting to try to get close to being ready for this raid.
Especially when Ahsoka didn't get nothing. No assault battle, no raid for Ahsoka, nothing. And people just like, you know, pushed hard to get her. I'm salty about that still. I don't know if you can tell. So,
a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a little bit salty about that. I felt like they should have given us something for that. But there we go. There we go.
We had the Peridia Patrol. That was 3 of the characters required for Ahsoka that went somewhere.
Not good enough. Not good enough.
Saying. It's just saying.
I'm not saying. It's just that's not Ahsoka.
Nope.
I wanted more.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm just being greedy.
Too.
I'm just being greedy.
I did too. When I R9 the whole team, I was kind of hoping that they would have been used somewhere else.
Oh yeah.
Justified it further, but yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, so thank you so much for the question. Pumba672 asks, I was wondering how you modded Ayla and Eth for the Luminara Naboo run, since the only modding on my raid channel is for the Plo and GMY, not GMY, no. Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. Right. So I've recently put out a video using Plo in the Darth Maul trio team for Battle for Naboo because he's actually super useful in that team.
Well, he's saying for the Luminara run.
Yeah. So I was just giving context for this.
Okay, gotcha.
Because I've moved Plo out of my Lumi team, it was Lumi. Yeah, Lumi team. I put Eth Koth in instead. And honestly, it doesn't matter. You can actually just 4-man the Lumi team with standard modding. All you have to do for any of the Lumi characters is just make them fast and give them offense. So that because they do true damage, and the true damage scales off their offense. So more offense, lots of speed.
With the changes to the Lumi run, with the nerfing or them getting rid of the buff strip on turn 1 and it being able to get its own bonus turns, it really doesn't matter. Lumi and Kit basically carry the team.
Yeah.
At that junction, there are people who at R9 can duo the raid with just the 2 of them.
Oh, really? That's insane. Yep. I like that.
That one's a very mod heavy, a little luck on who you get, but for the most part, at the worst of it, I've seen it go to a 3, but the 3-man is consistent, but I've seen it duoed at R9.
Damn.
That's insane. I'm still not R9ing Lumi and fucking Kit. You can get out of here.
Well, I already have a Relic 9 Lumi.
Wait until they're needed for Jedi Vanguard. And then boom.
And then we'll see who's laughing. It's probably Wolfie really again. He's like,
I already have a Relic 9 Lumi. So...
I'm just straight winning.
Yep. I'm thinking ahead or something. I don't know.
So let's pretend like there was just foresight. It's just foresight. Bodhi asks, with Ahsoka now confirmed to have no event, I literally just bitched about this. Does that make her the most expensive and worthless of the GLs? I mean, worthless is a bit heavy-handed. She's definitely the most expensive.
Yeah, she is the most expensive GL. She is a good GL. Her team is solid. Yeah. She is annoying as hell.
Very good team.
Yeah. The ROI isn't great, but for the majority of the player base, I'll put it this way, is that basically there is no need to rush Ahsoka with where things are at in the game. There are better investments than getting to her, but for everybody else, it's just another thing to add to the collection. And, you can argue worthless GLs left, right, and center if you look at total crystal cost and previous investment costs. I mean, I think Lord Vader is still up there on one of the most expensive ones to obtain, even when you look outside.
And now you have to get the new clones from.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. And we don't even know if that works. We're just taking it on blind faith that this will be the thing that finally makes Lord Vader.
Yeah, right. We're just assuming. We're hoping maybe they can make him good. Who the fuck knows?
That's just it's interesting. But yeah.
I wouldn't say that she's worthless. She's still a solid character. Definitely
she's very good.
But definitely there's better investments.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, eventually it does get to a point. I know it might not feel like it a lot of the time, but eventually it does get to the point that you actually have finished everything. And at that point, you might as well start getting the rest of your GLs done.
To be honest, though, even with her not having a specific event at this time, she does slap pretty good with that team in TB.
She's a full auto TB character. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's kind of a win for me. And then having Ahsoka be a usable part of that squad, and on the later planets, it lets you cheese out who you need to R9.
I mean, I freaking love taking in Fulcrum with Leia Organa, especially on mixed with the dots. Oh, it's so good. She's just like, aha, no dots for me, and then she'll one tap a unit. You're like, oh shit, okay. R9 Fulcrum claps, baby.
It is pretty wonderful.
I do.
But I don't say she's worthless. I just think that the ROI isn't great with her as it has been with other GLs. But that's where I draw the line. She's still a very good, worthwhile investment. But Jabba should be first. For Smuggler's Run and other things. Leia is probably the most versatile GL that they're gonna have a hard time knocking out of the meta anytime soon. And then the other ones, just as you can get the conquest units to support them, because a lot of the older ones now are slave to their functionality is closely correlated to the conquest unit.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Actually, I think she doesn't have a huge ROI, but she's still good. So,
yeah.
Bay94 says, "Guys, have you seen this? Any thoughts?"
Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
It's the new Star Wars game, basically. Yeah. I'll definitely be playing
about that recently. Yeah, it looks interesting.
Yeah,
it's like XCOM or
it's similar to XCOM or Dawn of War 2, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I'm here for it.
Get me some more Star Wars that doesn't suck. I'm here for it. So it's from Respawn. They've had a good track record so far. So
yep.
That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, it's a Star Wars game. We're always going to get... We do like Star Wars games, so we're probably going to play them. All right, so Smeagol says, what teams do you think will be the newer player-friendly teams in the new raid? Not just for single farming shards, but from a Kyrotech perspective. Probably there's going to be, a Jedi Vanguard team that is widely accessible.
The bleed over from them or from GR in general.
I mean... It's kind of all we've got to run on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Until they say what that extra faction is, and if that extra faction is bounty hunters, that is probably going to be relatively new player friendly as well. Depends what bounty hunters they throw in.
Yeah.
And again, we're making some assumptions here. We don't know if it is bounty hunters.
Or it could be
It was a complete shot in the dark, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Maybe it's all the Bad Batch characters.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that. I've got lots of relics on my Bad Batch, so that would be a
Bring
nice,
that
easy
Lightspeed
invest.
bundle back around. Let's do it.
Let's do it again.
Kind of where my brain feels like that. That's why they brought it out the first time. Was to get people caught up on the old Bad Batch because they'll be needed too.
Yeah, and people, to be fair, people have been asking for that OG Bad Batch Lightspeed bundle for ages.
I mean, probably about since since Lightspeed bundles were a thing, people have been asking for a Bad Batch one.
They're like, I don't want to get a Bad Batch for Lord Vader.
So
they don't want to blow the 1600 Kyrotech. I don't blame them.
No,
yeah, but you don't need
Omega.
Omegal. Yeah.
Omegu.
Omegu. Yeah, we do have to put a U at the end of every name now.
Yeah.
That is Carthrick's thing.
Apparently.
Yeah. So, cheers, Megan. Thank you for the question. So, Tico asks, not a lot of talk has gone into The Force Awakens 10th anniversary, which will be our last era of this year. What units, or, I mean, if anything we're talking about, these guys know who I'm going to say if we're talking about Force Awakens anniversary. If we're asking about characters that I want from that game, there's one that I put high up on a pedestal.
From Force Awakens?
Oh, sorry, Force Awakens. Sorry, for some reason I read this as Force Unleashed. Yeah, okay. Ignore me.
Force Unleashed, we're talking about Proxy.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Proxy, Coda,
Force Awakens.
Yes,
Okay.
Force Awakens, nobody.
I've got a list.
No, I don't know, maybe Maz Kanata. Or if they want to go like humorous, I think we get the junkyard person 1/4 portion. That would be great.
Yeah.
Just hands out portions to people. So yeah, what units do you think we could have for this, guys, for Force Awakens?
For Force Awakens, I mean, they could do.
Pass.
They could do. I mean, they've
Next
got
question?
options of things they could bring in that could help support the. Like, they could bring in a couple units to help support either the sub team, because like First Order is basically doesn't really have its second running team because you keep pulling the important bits out for Slacker. That, or they could find a way to bolster GLs for TW with them. Because I mean, you could just pick shit. They don't have to make sense. It's been CG method for a while now.
Don't let sense get in the way of a good idea.
Yeah, let's pick a character that has 2 seconds of screen time, and we're gonna make them a lifter in a game mode for.
Talk about Darkside Vision Ray had a very well thought out character arc.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was more like 1.5 seconds, not okay.
Yeah. You're right.
Sorry,
I was going based on the time it took me to nut, so.
It was when you saw those teeth, you were like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, like a little nibble. Anyways, I outside of that, I don't know what they would do for that. I feel like
Maz Kanata maybe,
where they have something they could do. Yeah, I don't know.
I would like to reread that one and like just get the word wrong again and read it as Force Unleashed and
Proxy.
Let's get Proxy. Let's get Ramcoda. Let's get some absolutely.
Dude, I would some Force Unleashed 2 characters.
I'm with you, Wolf.
Would be great too. I would love that. I
yeah,
mean, just with the depth that CG has now with their art and animations department, like the what they're putting out now is massively improvements from where this game started. I feel like they could really bring Proxy to life proper with what they've got available now, and that would be awesome. Like, I really want them to move Starkiller back to his own little thing. Let's do some ROM Coda. Let's get Juno Eclipse. Let's kind of get this kind of mash of a team put together and make a new.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would be okay with it.
I genuinely want
to go somewhere else.
I genuinely want Proxy to be trying to kill Starkiller occasionally. It's thematic, man. That's what he does.
Yeah, no, he can definitely have a call out for it. I mean, I'm for it, but
Have like a challenge thing that Proxy does. Like he challenges Starkiller in like the middle of the match, or like does damage to him or something like that. Like,
does
you
damage
have
to him,
beat
but
me,
ramps his
master.
mastery.
Or put marked on him or something like that, where the enemy tries to kill him because he marks him, or give him a Darth Revan mechanic where he saps his life away, or something. There are options on ways that CG have mechanics in game and already that they could use.
Yeah.
So I'm open to whatever. I would love to see Proxy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
I think we're all in agreement. Proxy's a badass,
Oh, yeah.
and we want him in the game. So Tico actually has 2 other questions rolled into this, and then we are done. Which is, what's your favorite Star Wars memory? It's not allowed to be the tribe talks. Okay, I know.
I mean,
it's a
obviously,
tall
Trap
order.
Talks. That was the first thing I was gonna say.
Yep.
What's your
I
second
don't
favorite
know.
Star Wars memory then?
I don't even know. I had so many of them. Just all the movies, all the everything. Like I gotta think about
it's
that.
hard, man. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
idea, man.
I don't know.
That's a tough one.
Maybe season finale of Mando season 2. That was kind of
maybe the Mando
iconic.
season 2 with Luke, probably.
Because that was kind of badass.
I need a hero.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's such a
Tough
good
one.
video clip.
Yeah, that synced over. That's pretty fucking dope. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, there's so many like different things where it's like either there was just a strong emotion to it, or there were just like just iconic moments in when watching Revenge of the Sith in theater was such a fun experience. Kind of sad that you never really got to do that with our generation for the original movies, but there are just a lot of things like that where that would be a fun memory that involves Star Wars, but like I don't know if they're wanting like specifically like that kind of thing, or if it's just like
Star Wars memory. It was very very
ambiguous.
non-specific.
Yep.
Gotta put it in a holocron and remember it forever.
There you go.
Yeah.
Daily from the chat, midriff Padme. It's like, that too. The scene where she gets her shirt ripped off.
And honestly,
Iconic.
like, what is her pelvis made out of? Because she jumped from quite a height on top of that fucking creature. What was it? Was it the Nexu that she landed on? It was the Reek. Yeah, she landed. That was a big jump, and she just full on splitzed onto that. Like,
I want to say that either
cow.
she has like a Beskar crotch sports jock, or she's just got like
she's got a chastity belt.
But it's not even just a belt. Like think
it's an Everlast.
Yeah, my brain just goes like it's gotta be.
I got you, Wolfie. Call the locksmith. Oh my god. Yeah, pussy power. Lips that grip, mate. Lips that grip. That's all she's got. Yeah, she did not move an inch. Just
had the just the absorbing the impact, man. That's the important part to think of.
I mean, if she's having kids with Anakin, I mean, the power of the chosen one. Yeah,
probably like using the Force.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
All right.
Yeah, on that note.
And on that bombshell, what was the first unit that you were genuinely excited for and gameplay exceeded expectations? Did you still get use out of them today? Starkiller? Yeah, Starkiller was fucking wild.
Probably Starkiller.
Yeah.
Was that like the first unit?
Yeah, when he was announced, I was literally just through the roof for him, and then his kit met expectations and exceeded them in a lot of areas. The only reason Starkiller isn't as prominent as he once was is because of power creep. Outside of that, you give him a good cron like the one we just had, and Starkiller goes back to just absolutely slapping faces.
Oh my god, he is insane.
So that hands down is like the unit where I was like announced him, super stoked, and then met and exceeded expectations for what we had in the game.
Yeah. I think you're probably right.
With blue lightsabers.
Yeah, that's the way they one up it, right? Just do it again. Do it again, and maybe you could get like proxy. Just saying.
Said that proxy doesn't play a biggest part in Force Unleashed 2.
Yeah. So there we go.
But
That
I
is.
would still take it. I would still
I-
take it.
I'd take it. That is the end of our questions for this evening. We have slightly overrun. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I would very much like to go to sleep. So,
Don't want to go mow my
I'd
yard.
go for a munch.
So
I mean, I could actually go for a munch as well before bed. Midnight snack. That'll be wonderful.
Market?
So-
no, all right.
Rug munching? No? All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think we should have some people going live on the old GACs shortly. So let's go ahead and
started.
Tasnix just started. Yeah, let's raid over into Tasnix.
That's what Saul's saying.
Yeah. Oh.
He is doing.
Okay. I can't send YouTube over to Tas, but maybe I can send Twitch over to Tas. He doesn't have Tasnix doesn't have a rating available on his YouTube channel. He needs to alert it. So all good.
Send him a DM.
Yeah.
Let him know what's up. Quit making it amateur hour over there.
What is this amateur hour?
Got to be a professional YouTube streamer. Needs to know how to raid.
Well, thank you for hanging, everyone.
Yeah, it's been real. Lots to talk about today. It was a good one. So
Holy crap.
I will.
Too much.
I will be GACing tomorrow. You guys streaming later? I mean, Karth
I
obviously.
should be
isn't,
live
but
later, yeah.
Sick.
A couple hours, we'll see.
Sick.
After
So keep an eye out
lunchtime.
for Wolfie doing your gack and having a good time. And yeah, I'll see you all later. Good night, everybody. Big love. Boop, 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 boop.